Just because your toddler can ride something at Disney doesn't mean they should. In fact, some of the most popular kid-friendly rides at Disney World are the worst for little kids. And I'm ranking every toddler-friendly ride from the worst to the best so that you know which to skip and which your toddler is actually gonna love. Hi, I'm Christina, a mom of 3, and I have personally tested every single one of these rides with my small kids. So this ranking is based on what actually works for toddlers. Low fear, low overwhelm, and rides they'll genuinely enjoy, not just tolerate. Especially if your child is new to rides in general. Now we're focusing only on rides today. No shows, no other attractions. Now I'm including everything with no height requirement and anything less than 40 inches. And that's 33 rides across all of Walt Disney World. So let's jump in. Okay, we're gonna start with the worst rides for toddlers. And a lot of these have high requirements. Last on our list is Slinky Dog Dash. I know, I was surprised too. This is a cute, family-friendly roller coaster in Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios with a 38-inch height requirement. And the reason this is last on our list is because it's a long roller coaster and it goes faster than your little one might be ready for, as in 40 miles per hour. Plus, the wait to get on it is usually over an hour long, which isn't great for them to only freak out when you're on the ride. Next is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom. Now, this is another family-friendly roller coaster that has a 38-inch height requirement. It's very smooth and really well themed, but it could be a big jump for little toddlers who aren't used to rides yet. It goes 34 miles per hour, so it's not as fast as Slinky Dog Dash. However, it could probably be more for a 5-year-old and up because your toddler may not be ready for this speed. Next is Kali River Rapids in Animal Kingdom. Yeah, this is a wet raft ride where you can potentially get soaking wet or completely dry, but you never know. So the randomness, the unpredictability is a bit overwhelming for little kids, and they have to sit kind of by themselves. You can sit with them, but they still have to have their own seat. They can't sit on your lap or anything. So it could be pretty overwhelming. And this also has a height requirement of 38 inches. Next is what I would consider the starter coaster, and that's the Barnstormer. And yes, it is a starter coaster. It has a height requirement of 35 inches, and it's a great way to introduce roller coasters to your small children. However, it goes faster than you would expect. It's only 25 miles per hour, but it feels a lot faster, especially to a toddler. Even to me, it feels faster than that. It's not a long ride, but your toddler could get in it, sit next to you, being really happy, and then freak out. I love that picture. That was my now 10-year-old. She was 4 then, riding with her uncle. And no, this did not traumatize her from going on roller coasters. She loves them now, but it took her a minute to get brave enough to go on them again. And that one is also at Magic Kingdom. Next, we're gonna go back to Hollywood Studios with Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. This is a simulator attraction with a 38-inch height requirement. Now, you are riding with your family. However, you are in your own seat. There's buttons to push, but it can get really bumpy no matter who the pilot is, especially if it's your toddler. You don't actually go anywhere except just in the cockpit, but it still can be very overstimulating and really chaotic. Now let's head back to Magic Kingdom for Tomorrowland Speedway. Yeah, the ride where kids get to drive their own car. Sounds fun, right? It has a 32-inch height requirement, and for a little toddler who can't really do much with the steering wheel or can't reach the pedal yet, this can feel pretty intense because you can't really control the wheel as well. You're on a track, but it can get really bumpy and very jerky for a little body and who doesn't know what's going on. And they can't sit in your lap, they have to sit next to you, so they may not feel as safe on this ride, even though they are safe. And the final one for this category is Astro Orbiter. Now, Astro Orbiter is a Dumbo-style attraction. There is no height requirement. It is in Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland, but you have to ride an elevator to get up to it, and it is very high up. And I wouldn't do this one before Dumbo or Magic Carpets of Aladdin because you're so high up, and that can freak a little one out. It freaks me out a little. But if your child loves the Dumbo ride or Magic Carpets of Aladdin, this might be a good one to try. Just know that the loading process is really slow, so the line can take a while. But you also get a great view of Magic Kingdom. But in general, if your child has never done any ride before, I would skip all of those. Now let's go to the rides that may be overstimulating or get a mixture of reactions depending on your toddler. First one is Alien Swirling Saucers in Hollywood Studios. Now this is a very cute ride. It's like a combination between the tilt-a-whirl and the teacups. You don't spin that fast, but you can get a little momentum as you swing around. This has a 32-inch height requirement, so not everyone can go on it, and your toddler will have to sit next to you, not on your lap. There's only a seat belt protecting you. And this is a fun ride, but it can just feel overstimulating with the music, with the movement. It's just a lot to take in for your little toddler. And for the next ride, I was surprised by my toddler's reaction. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Hollywood Studios. Now my daughter loves Mickey and Minnie, and so I thought she will love this ride. But it's a trackless ride, so there's no track, but the movements can feel really jerky and quick, and it can get really, really loud in there, especially for those who have that sensitivity. So overall, even though this ride has no height requirement, it can feel overwhelming and overstimulating for small children. In that similar vein, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure at Epcot is also a trackless ride, and it's the same thing. You are moving through more practical sets than the Mickey and Minnie's ride. However, there is some screens and some 4D experiences, like you can get splashed a little, you can feel the heat of a fire a little bit. So that can also feel really intense for small children. Then there's Toy Story Mania at Hollywood Studios in Toy Story Land. Now this again has no height requirement. It is a game style attraction where you are shooting at targets, and it's hard to do when you're holding a toddler for one. And then the movement of the ride vehicles can feel sudden, and it's very loud. The game style attraction is just overstimulating for little ones. So it's just a lot to take in. So my toddler hated it. It's still a fun ride. It's just a lot to take in. Next is Haunted Mansion. I know, I'm sorry. I'm actually not a big fan of Haunted Mansion, but I know a lot of people are, which is great. This just might not be the best for small children. It has no height requirement or anything. It's an omni-mover attraction. It's slow moving through different scenes of the house. And all that sounds great for a toddler. However, it is really dark. And so the dark atmosphere can feel unpredictable to a toddler and makes it feel afraid, really. Maybe that's not your toddler's experience, which is great, but that's why my kid didn't like it. So take that with a grain of salt. If that's a must-do attraction, maybe your kid will like it. But if it's not a must-do for you, you might want to skip it. Overall, these rides are not bad rides at all. They're really fun. But these could also be where parents tend to shake their child's confidence in the rides earlier in the day. You know what I'm saying? So just, if you're gonna ride these rides, go in with the word of caution. The next category is mid-tier. So these rides are okay for toddlers, but definitely not must-dos. First is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin over in Magic Kingdom. Now this ride has just reopened, and we just got to go on it to test it out, and it was so fun. It's different than Toy Story Mania, even though it's still a game style attraction, but this one, it's an omni-mover, meaning it's always moving. Toy Story Mania, it stops so you can shoot things, and then it moves on to the next target. Here, you're always moving and shooting at targets, and you have your own blaster, which you can actually remove from the holster and just shoot at targets. And your little one can just sit right next to you and watch. So it's pretty fun, but it can be overstimulating, just to let you know. Next is Journey into the Imagination with Figment over at Epcot. Now this ride is a mixture of things. It is slow moving, and there are fun scenes with Figment and everything that could your little one could really enjoy. However, there are some surprising scenes too. Mostly towards the end, when after you go through Figment's open house, there's a scene where it's pretty dark and then suddenly you get a blast of air and the whole room changes. Cool effect, but the blast of air and the volume of it can be shocking for a toddler. So my kid's not loving it right now, but it is a okay attraction for a small child. Next is Magic Carpets of Aladdin over in Adventureland of Magic Kingdom. This is a Dumbo style attraction. It's pretty gentle. There are 2 seats. One controls up and down, the other controls the tilt of the magic carpet. But for some reason, my toddler is scared of this ride, which is a bummer because this ride is made for toddlers. But also, it's not as good as Dumbo, even though I love the theming more. But this might be a hit or miss. Next is the Walt Disney World Railroad. Yep, around Magic Kingdom, it's just a train. Right now, it's only going from Storybook Circus to the entrance and back. It's not going all the way around Magic Kingdom right now, but it will in the future. And this is just a train, is what it is. It's fine. There's nothing too exciting about it except you're riding a train. It's not like Disneyland. There's no cool scenes that you might see, like dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's just a ride around Magic Kingdom or shuttle to the entrance and to Storybook Circus. So this could be a chill part of your day. And finally, in the mid-tier category, we have Spaceship Earth. Now this is over at Epcot, the big golf ball. Yes, there is a ride inside and it's fun. It's really cool to see the animatronics as you make your way through. It's a slow moving ride. It's kind of dark, but there's enough scenes in there to capture your toddler's attention. It's also a very long ride. So that's why it's not the best for toddlers, just because it's so long and you really don't know how your toddler is going to react. This could also be a good nap attraction for your toddler because it is so long. But in general, those are the rides that people recommend the most. However, there are better options for toddlers. And let's talk about those. The solid options category. We have Frozen Ever After. Now this is over at Epcot in the Norway Pavilion of World Showcase. And it is a boat ride featuring Frozen songs, Frozen characters. So if your kid loves Frozen, this is a must. There are some intense scenes where you kind of go backwards down a little slide and then you go forwards down more of a slide, but it just lasts for a moment and then it's fine. So your toddler might freak out a little bit, but in general, it is a slow moving boat ride with Frozen songs. Win-win. Next is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. The People Mover, yeah. In Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland. And this is a highway in the sky where you are going through all of Tomorrowland up high. You get great views. You even get to see a model of what Epcot was supposed to look like. It does move a little faster than you might expect, especially for a toddler. And there are some dark moments, like where you go inside Space Mountain. Yeah, you actually go inside Space Mountain. It's really dark, and sometimes you can hear screams from Space Mountain. And that can freak a toddler out. The parts that are outside are really fun. And it doesn't usually have more than a 30-minute wait. The next solid option is Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Yes, Dumbo. There are 2 of them here at Magic Kingdom. And there's also a playground your toddler can play in before going on the ride. You do have to wait in line to go to the playground. Then when you're done with the playground, you can stay there as long as you want. You have to join the line again. The line situation is kind of hard to wait in. It moves really slow. But the ride itself is very toddler friendly. It's Dumbo, and you can control how high and how low you ride it. My toddler freaked out the last time we rode it and had a meltdown. That was fun. So usually this is a very toddler friendly attraction, but sometimes it isn't. So there you go. Next is my favorite ride, Pirates of the Caribbean. And this is not like Disneyland where you have 2 pretty intense drops. Here you only have one small drop and it's pretty doable for little ones. Otherwise, it's a slow moving boat ride that goes through caverns and then through Pirate Village. And it's really fun and really fun song. It's dark, but there's enough going on that will distract your toddler. And so it doesn't feel as unpredictable because of the fun vibe. And it usually has a low wait in the mornings and late afternoons. And finally in this category for solid options is the Living with the Land ride at Epcot. Now this is honestly one of my favorite rides at Epcot. It usually has a short line and it's a very slow moving boat ride. Gotta love those boat rides with little kids. And it's where it takes you through the greenhouses. It might be kind of boring, to be honest, for little ones who have been on rides with more excitement. So, or it could be a nice change of pace as you just glide through, point at the plants, point at the flower, maybe see a hidden Mickey plant. Or there's even fish. Yeah, they even have greenhouses for fish. It is about a 15-20 minute ride, which can feel long, but it can also be a good nap ride for your toddler and a good relaxing moment for you. Now, all those rides are where your toddler moves from okay or tolerating the rides to actually enjoying them. And now let's go into the real toddler sweet spot category. But before we do, if you actually want a list of all these attractions that I am naming so you don't have to write them down, probably should have said this earlier, but I have a free attraction guide that gives you the high requirements to all of them, plus little notes that would be helpful for you if you're deciding whether to skip it or to go on it for your next trip with your little one. So that's linked in the description. All right, now the toddler sweet spot. And we're going to start off with Peter Pan's Flight. Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't on top too. This is in Magic Kingdom in Fantasyland, and where you are riding a ship around London and then that flies you to Neverland, which is awesome. It's slow moving and the story elements are really cool, but you are like flying. Like the track is above you. So below it can seem pretty intense for toddlers because you're up higher than like on a track. And the lighting's pretty dark. So just know that going in. But the queue is one of my favorite parts because you actually walk through the Darling House and there's a little Tinkerbell magic that happens. So that's really fun. Worth waiting in. Next, Mad Tea Party. Yes, the classic teacups you are spinning in at Magic Kingdom. There is a wheel in the middle that you can choose to spin or not spin. I prefer not spin because at this age, teacups make me nauseous. So I don't spin it, and my toddler and I have a grand old time. My older kids, they spin as fast as they can, so I can't ride it with them. I especially can't ride it with my husband, who loves to spin it. So to avoid a potential meltdown, don't spin it and see how your toddler reacts. If they seem okay, maybe spin it a little more. They're teacups. It's colorful, there's fun music. It's a classic ride. Next is Navi River Journey over at Animal Kingdom. And this is a slow-moving boat ride. Gotta love those. Through Pandora, Avatar Land, at night, essentially. So there's fun little creatures. Everything glows. Like, it's a dark ride, but everything glows. So it's really pretty. And then you got the amazing animatronic at the end. It's a very toddler-friendly ride. The hitch is that it usually has a very long wait for some reason most of the day. So the best time to ride it is in the morning. While everyone's getting in line for Flight of Passage, you can walk on to Navi River Journey. So that's how I recommend going on it. But yeah, it's a really fun ride that your toddler is really gonna like. Next, going back over to Magic Kingdom with the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Not only this ride is all about Winnie the Pooh, so already it's catered towards toddlers and little kids, but there's also a little kid-friendly queue where your kid can actually play on things, play with things, interact with things. Very interactive queue, so that's fun. And then you get into the ride, which takes you through many scenes of Winnie the Pooh. The ride vehicle changes up the rhythm a bit, so it can go like up and down a little bit when you are with Tigger. It can feel like you're in water when you're in the flood area. So that can feel a little overstimulating for a little toddler. But in general, it's Winnie the Pooh. You can't really go wrong. And the next ride for a toddler sweet spot is Kilimanjaro Safari in Animal Kingdom. And this is an exciting ride. It can get bumpy, really bumpy, especially for little kids. So the bumpiest part is in the back. You also have the best view in the back. So request a row that best fits your needs. But this ride actually takes you on a safari and seeing all these animals, which is very exciting for little ones. You never know what the animals are going to do. The mornings that have the most active, but if you can't make in the mornings, the line is shorter in the later afternoon if you're still in the park. So this is really fun for the toddlers to really look at the giraffes and look at elephants, whatever animal they see, even lions. So it's just a really cute real life safari attraction that is great for toddlers. So these are all great ways to begin your day. Now we're going to share the actual best rides for toddlers. And if you think you know what number 1 is, let me know in the comments. Prince Charming Carousel. Classic ride in Magic Kingdom, right there, right behind the castle. If your toddler is feeling brave, they can ride in a horse, which is really great and can just stand next to them. Or there are little benches that you can also sit with your toddler as well if they're not quite ready for a horse yet. So this is just an easy attraction. Your toddler can see the ride, know what to expect, and have a great time. Next is Jungle Cruise. Yeah, this is similar like the safari ride, except, they're animatronic animals, so you do know what they're gonna do. But it's also a slow-moving boat ride through the Amazon rainforest. And this is great for adults because the skipper is making all these puns and jokes as you go through the jungle. But it can also be kind of long if your toddler has a short attention span. But like I said, there's lots of different animals to see. None of them are real. Maybe a duck. You might see a duck that's real. But yeah, it's just a fun ride. The thing is that this line can get pretty long throughout the day there at Magic Kingdom. So I recommend riding it first thing in the morning if it's a priority for you, or later in the evening. Next is over at Epcot with the Grand Fiesta Tour featuring the 3 Caballeros. And it's once again a slow-moving boat ride through the Mexico Pavilion. And it's really pretty, really cool. It's Donald Duck, so you can't really go wrong with that. It's a very easy ride. It's a lot like It's a Small World. So it's a very easy, moving, toddler-friendly ride. And it usually doesn't get a very long line. Next is the Seas with Nemo and Friends. And we're still in Epcot. And this is a great attraction. It's an omni-mover attraction, so it's slow, but it's always moving. You just jump in a clamshell, and it takes you, not through the story of Nemo, but with the characters of Finding Nemo and Dory. And what's really great about this ride is, one, the queue is really well themed, but it also exits into the sea base aquarium. So where you can see like real fish and sharks and sea turtles. You can find Dory, you can find Nemo. It's just a really fun way to spend lots of time out of the weather, indoors with your toddler, watching go crazy. We could spend hours there, probably. There's even a little shark playground. So it's just really, the ride is very toddler friendly, but it also ends in a really toddler friendly space. And we're going to stay under the sea with Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid over at Magic Kingdom. This is a very similar style attraction where it's an omni-mover where you are jumping into a clamshell again. And it takes you through the story of the Little Mermaid. And it's all inside Prince Eric's castle. And it's really well themed. Even the queue, you can see like this little crab doing fun things while you're waiting. And the queue usually goes really quick. So it's just an awesome ride. It's very colorful. The songs are great. It's just one of the best toddler-friendly rides. And it usually doesn't have a very long wait. So definitely one of the best ones. And then finally, the number 1 best ride for toddlers is the ride that's pretty much made for them. It's a Small World. Yep, I know a lot of parents hate this ride because of the song, but your toddler is not going to care. Your toddler's going to love it. It's a slow-moving boat ride, which is a toddler's favorite ride. At least it's my toddler's favorite ride. And it takes you through different countries with the Small World dolls singing the song in different languages, and it's really cute. Every time I go on it, not only does my toddler get excited, but in the boat with us. Every little kid that's on there, they are pointing at everything, super excited. They just love it. If you've been to the one at Disneyland, it's not the same. There's no Disney characters here at Disney World, but it is such a fun ride for small children. So all those best rides would be great options to start your Disney day with your little one. And then you can keep building momentum from there. Now, I've done a video showing you how to actually navigate each park with a toddler, and we actually go on most of these rides. So I'll link that playlist in the description, and hit the subscribe button because my next video, I'm taking you back to Disney with my toddler, but not at a park. Yep, we're going to Disney Springs for the first time on video with my toddler, and I'm going to show you what a low budget day looks like there. Doesn't that sound like fun? I'll see you over there, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very magical day and a happily ever after. Bye.